Have you ever fallen down or been in an accident? I was thinking back to when I was a kid riding bikes and popping wheelies or whatever. But where you fall down and you're laying there for a second and you're doing a body check from head to toe of, all right, am I okay? You know, from head to toe. And then you're like, I'm okay. And it's laughable now because we see it in sometimes really comical situations. But I'm here at the airport fixing to do an inter-island flight. And I've been trying to do this more often. So on the way here, at way too early o'clock, I'm doing a body check and I'm thinking, okay, head to toe, is my brow furrowed or my kind of frowning or my eyes aching from not blinking, and do my cheeks hurt from clenching my teeth or setting my jaw? Does my neck hurt from feeling stressed or whatever? Do I have my hands in fists or kind of curled up like this? You know, am I gripping things too hard? Am I tapping my hands or feet nervously or anything like that? So just doing this whole head to toe, how does my stomach feel? And I used to think I was pretty good at not being a stressed person, that I just went through life and just kind of shed the stress and didn't worry about things so much and just kind of blew things off. And to a large degree I do, but not nearly so well as I thought I did. And so I've been trying to do this for a pretty good while now, where I just periodically do these body checks. And the awareness sometimes of our body and what it's trying to tell us, and how we just kind of push it aside or shove it down or stifle it, is kind of mind-boggling sometimes, because we do it way too much. We do it way too unconsciously. I mean, sometimes I've got friends I've talked to where it's like they'll go a whole day and then they realize, oh, I haven't had anything to eat today, or I haven't peed in 8 hours, or just whatever. And we get busy and we just shut these things down and we tell our bodies later, or that's not important, I got stuff to do, or just whatever it is. And so to do these body checks periodically is such a helpful thing, because all of these things I was talking about are indicators of stress or of worry or trepidation or apprehension or whatever. So I was thinking about this morning on the way here, I was kind of doing a body check, because on the way to the airport, you're always worried about, okay, am I going to be there early enough to get through security check and to make my flight and all that? And you don't really get a second chance on it, so you want to time that right. And you don't want to be too early, and you don't want to be cutting it too short either. And for here in Hawaii, most of the airports are not very air conditioned, so there's not a whole lot of things to do. So to spend an inordinate amount of time at a gate sometimes is just kind of like, the time just crawls, because it's just, there's nothing to do, you're uncomfortable, and it's just like not a fun thing. So you don't want to just be too long waiting at your gate. And that's valid, but also there's that worry about just timing that right. Yeah, so sometimes we go through and we just kind of disregard all the stuff our body's telling us. So I was coming here and my stomach felt, kind of knotted up a little bit. And I realized, oh, I'm kind of apprehensive about my timing and if I'm late and all that stuff. And I remind myself, looking at the clock, it's like, you're good on time. No worries, you're fine. And so I take this big, deep breath, and, blow it out, just nice and slow. Do that a few times. And it's, especially for me, like the blowing out with, more of a forcible blow is kind of a cleansing thing, and it helps us kind of, just calm me down, just to take off that little bit of an edge. And so it's a really handy thing to be aware of, and it works for me. For some folks, that cleansing breath or a box breath where you breathe in for 5 seconds and hold for 5 seconds, breathe out for 5 seconds, wait for 5 seconds, something that kind of breaks the patterns and you put a little more thought into it, or tapping on your sternum or whatever. There's different things that can help to kind of relieve that stress and kind of recenter, take your mind off of over worrying and stress. There's a whole lot of different techniques, and whatever works for you is awesome. But it's just good to know and have something that does work for you in those times that you need it. So anyway, that calmed me down. I got to the airport and I'm feeling it rise up again as I'm getting my stuff together. And it's like, okay, just breathe and you're fine. But we have these kind of spots where, on the way to the airport, when we're getting stuff out of the car, when we're, if we're doing a boarding pass and all, and checking bags, where we're, getting to the TSA line. And so I'm in the TSA line. TSA line. I get to the TSA line and I'm feeling this nervous apprehension in my stomach again, and this kind of, and then I do a quick awareness. Oh, okay, I'm feeling this trepidation. And I start laughing at myself because there is nobody in line in front of me as I go through all the stanchions to finally get to the guy to show my ID. And so there was nobody there. And then on the other side of him, waiting to be scanned with all their, baggage, their carry-ons taken out, were 10 people. So there was absolutely no security delay whatsoever. So I had to remind myself consciously, just breathe, everything is good. You have tons of time, there is no delay here, everything is good. And just that reminding myself that everything is okay, everything is good, really did a lot. And it kind of made me aware of that, that little kid in all of us, where sometimes kids get kind of upset and frantic and all that stuff, and there's a lot to be said for just saying, hey, everything's okay, it's okay, don't worry, or to other adults who are also little kids in adult bodies, and to say that to ourselves, this really is helpful. And so anyway, I did remind myself of that. Everything went fine, went through TSA, and then there's that trepidation that comes up again to, how far away is the gate, and is the flight going to change gates and stuff, because, that sort of stuff happens. So you get to your gate, and then you can remind yourself everything is fine. The flight says it's on time. There's no delay. They're not changing the gate. And there's all these different stages of a different bunch of stuff. And typically, I'd only be semi-aware or unaware of that sort of stuff. But I could be more aware by the more I do this process, the less I really have to go through a whole full scan of how's my body doing, how's my brain doing. But it also helps, and the more I do it, the more just actually aware I am of my body telling me different things, where I can just oh, my stomach's kind of feeling knotted up or a little bit worried, or I'm gripping the steering wheel too hard, or I haven't blinked, or when's the last time that I breathed, I'm taking really shallow breaths, whatever it is. So it really behooves us to be more aware and to be able to remind ourselves it's okay and tell ourselves why, and to do whatever steps it takes to regulate and to calm and to purge whatever sort of stresses and stuff we have. And we live in a world of so much stress. It is crazy making the amount of stress we have and the things that we've got to worry about. And I think, just on this flight to the airport, none of these things are major things, but they all feel important, because they are, but also they're not life-threatening. But there's a part of us always scanning for threat, real or perceived, and that's the way we're built, and that has its purpose. But sometimes, because we live in such a state of activation so often, of so many things going on, bombarding us, making us feel threatened or whatever it is, then that can really take its toll on us. And I think by doing this body check, try it, and remind yourself to try it a few times a day or something like that, until you start getting a habit of it and you start becoming aware of it. It makes a huge difference, and also reminds me of just how much stress we are under. And like I said, I like to think that I'm a person who doesn't really stress much about things in life, but I am aware by doing this that there's plenty of stresses going on all the time. And even though I may not be somebody who stresses or freaks out, there's stresses all the time. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you in case that's helpful in some way. Fortunately, I've got plenty of time, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.